Ginger.
Hold on, going live.
All right.
Always trying to fall.
Oh, you're live. Hey, this wasn't live before.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Liars Club. This is our second introduction. I'm Felicia Michaels.
And I'm Jessica Wellington.
And we've just been chatting here for about a good 7 minutes. Will you do me a big favor, Jessica? Will you reintroduce our guests?
Of course I will. I'd be more than happy to. Are we definitely live now?
We're definitely live.
But we did record that other stuff, right?
It was recording, yeah, but...
Okay.
For you guys just tuning in, over here, this lovely lady is BuzzFeed's comedian to follow. She's been on Laughs on Fox. She's the host of the Pandora Box on iHeartRadio. Her grandfather is Skipper from Gilligan's Island. This is Samantha Hale.
Yay!
I like hearing my credits twice. It's
there
fine.
you go, yeah.
I'm okay with that.
And she didn't fuck up this time. Okay.
Yeah. All right, and this lovely lady over here, she's an actress and comedian. You may have seen her on AMC, Fuel TV, and Adult Swim. She's host of her own podcast, Hot Pizza Ass. She's a proclaimed nerd, and on her IMDb it says she is a young Cameron Diaz playing drinking games at Comic-Con.
Yay!
This is Erin Darling.
Welcome to the show. By the way, I think I would go to Comic-Con just for the drinking games and not for anything else.
That's pretty much where I'm at too these days.
Is that a thing? It's a drinking thing at Comic-Con?
No, it's a party.
Yeah.
Comic-Con is a party.
It's a big
It's
ass
where everybody
party.
goes to fuck, dude. You don't even know.
Yeah, that's where they make everyone put masks on so that everyone can get fucked.
Oh, that's helpful.
Anyway, that was kind of mean.
I'm going this year.
So what's the crazy?
Mask or not? Well, that took a turn.
We both should go.
I love it.
So let me ask you this: what's the craziest outfit you ever wore on Comic-Con?
The craziest outfit. Well, I'm not a big cosplayer. I kind of that's not really my jam. But one year, I think the only time I did it, I wore this outfit. It's Emma Frost. Do you guys know who that is? X-Men First Class. January Jones played her. Yeah. She's like, no. That's the only time I've ever dressed up, and it was for a video. But normally I don't.
I only dress up for January Jones.
Yeah. I mean, she's hot.
Yeah.
The picture I put up of you were dressed as a band leader.
Yeah, I look like I'm like a member of the Beatles in that picture. I'm like, where did she find this? It's so old. I love it.
Well, we're so glad that you guys are here, and I already did a bunch of the introductions, so we don't need to do and information. We don't need to do that again. So why don't we start off with the stories? Now, you have to tell two stories, right? They can't both be true. They can't both be a lie. We're very adamant about that. One has to be the truth. I know, but we just like to reiterate.
Saw the Facebook.
Yeah, because sometimes when we first were doing the podcast, people would be like, "Oh my god!" At the end, "Oh my god, they were both true," thinking
We
they
got
were.
you.
We got you, and we're like, "No, bitch, that wasn't."
No,
the
you
game."
just didn't understand the assignment.
Yeah.
You failed in school.
So I just wanted to make that clear. So go ahead and tell your first story.
Got it. Okay. So I got into a fight. My first fight that I ever got into at a concert. It was at a Rob Zombie concert.
I don't believe this.
Okay.
But go ahead.
Do I not look aggressive? It looks like I fight a lot. I don't know.
How old were you?
This was a year ago. My first fight.
A year ago at a Rob Zombie concert.
And I'm not done. It gets worse. It was with a guy, don't hate me, in a wheelchair. Oh, I'll see myself out.
God.
It's fine.
This makes it more believable.
Okay, so I get there and I did like the VIP meet and greet. I had been there for like 4 hours. I met Rob Zombie. It was really cool, but it was super hot. You had to go wait by the stage to get your spot. So I was in the front row. Yeah.
How did you get back VIP treatment?
You buy them on Ticketmaster.
Okay.
I'm not that cool.
Gilligan's granddaughter.
He actually would have cared.
Skipper's granddaughter.
Fuck.
He probably would have cared. He's into old
Uh-huh.
He posted on his Instagram Ginger or Marianne a while ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So anyway, I'm
Let
in
me
the
ask
front.
you this: what would your grandfather have picked, Ginger or Marianne?
I think everybody picks Marianne because Ginger's just kind of a bitch.
As gingers are, right, Michael?
Michael.
Full circle.
Yeah, you guys are really killing. None of the live viewers heard the thing.
Doesn't matter. They still know you're Ginger.
Yeah, I am a piece
They
of
can
shit.
feel it.
No,
Yeah.
you're
Aw.
fantastic, but you're Ginger.
Fantastically ginger. So I'm in the front. I've been there for hours. It's hot. I'm so excited to see him play. About 10 minutes before he plays, I feel someone tapping behind me, and he keeps aggressively tapping. I turn around. It's a guy in a wheelchair.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, what's up? And he's like, yeah, hi, great. Can you move? And I said, I don't know where you want me to move. Like, there's a person over here. There's an 18-year-old kid on the other side of me. And he's like, yeah, he just kept asking. Finally, I was like, you want my spot. I've been here for hours, dude. I just know I can't move. If I move, I'll have to go to the back. I'm not doing it. And so he says, okay, you just watch your ankles.
Yeah. Aggressive.
Yeah. So I turned around. I said, did you just threaten me? And he's like,
Did you just threaten my ankles?
did you just threaten my ankles?
Oh. Was he in a chair where they had the metal thing where his feet were resting on?
I don't know if they were
No,
in
they
the.
all kind of have that.
Don't they all have
It
that?
depends because my mother was in a wheelchair. That's why I'm all like, tell me more.
Oh, I don't
yeah,
I don't
and so she
remember.
had they were like the bane of my existence as a child because she had that, where they would hold the legs, and so they would be like stirrups, like when you're getting an exam, a lady exam. The metal, they have these metal.
Yeah, no, I know what
yeah.
you're talking about. That's
Yeah.
probably what he was threatening
Yeah,
me
I
with.
would think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're arguing, and maybe 10 minutes later, 5-10 minutes later, another guy in a wheelchair comes up and was like, hey, lay off of
come
him.
on.
And I said, listen.
Really? It was a wheelchair gang?
It was. It was. Another guy comes up. He starts yelling at me. I'm like, listen, I appreciate the situation here, but this guy's a dick. It has nothing to do with the fact that he's in a wheelchair. Like, please butt out. And he eventually left. I didn't wind up and he's like, yeah, I don't think you know how mosh pits work. And then I turn around, I look down, and I said, I don't think you know how mosh pits work because, like, you would have, you're not going to be able to, like, see. So I don't know. Eventually, I was like, please just stop touching me. And then,
Well, were you in line for the mosh pit or for the VIP?
well, it was all GA.
So
the
you were
VIP
just standing
was before the show.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, with the VIP ticket, you got to go in early, but it's all GA.
So were you in line for the mosh pit?
What do you mean?
What were you in line for?
Oh, well, when I got there, I was in line to, like, they took you backstage to meet Rob.
Right.
And then once you met him, they bring you out into, like, where the stage is and you can line up. Like, to get your spot, I mean. Like, I got my spot on the barricade, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought when you go meet them, you meet them after the show.
This one was before. A lot of times it is after, but I think it's like actual guests of the band go after. People who pay like me go before.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They
Yeah.
might get tired.
So what was he saying to you?
They-
Hey, able-bodied bitch. Was he saying stuff like that?
Said watch your
He's-
ankles. That's the watch your back for wheelchair.
Basically, that's basically what it was. Well, it started as like he was trying to chat me up at first, and I was being friendly to him, and then he was like, "Can you just move?" I said, "I don't know where you want me to move to." Eventually, he goes to the other side of me and tries to wedge himself in between me and this 18-year-old girl, and she started freaking out. What?
Like when you're trying to merge before Laurel Canyon.
Yeah, basically.
And someone tries to squeeze in, and you're like,
did.
"Fuck no!"
That's what happened. He tried to merge on the
I
other
ask you a
side.
question? Why
Yeah.
didn't you just let him go in front? It's not going to obstruct your view.
Oh, damn. I'm a terrible person.
a great point.
No, actually, the answer is because I have bulging discs on my back and I need to lean.
And you can't lean on his wheelchair?
Oh, that'd be weird. I don't want to lean on some random guy. No, I
No,
need
on
like
the
a
handles.
tall. I don't know. I guess I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I
know
don't
where those
know.
handles
That's
have been.
kinda
She was like,
weird.
look, you've already got a seat. Nobody else has a seat.
That's true. But no, that's why I was like, I'm going to be in a lot of pain if I don't have something to lean on. My
And-
back is completely messed up.
So when you say something to lean on, was there space between where you were standing? You know how sometimes they have like a little bit like a 4 or 5 foot
Yeah,
dead
like where the
space?
photographers go.
Yeah, was there like that? So what would you actually have been leaning on?
Okay, so if the stage, you guys are grilling. I
I
like
know.
it. Okay, so let's say the stage is right here.
Okay.
And then there's a little like a little bit of space where
Right.
photographers come up. And then there's a barricade. And then it's just all people standing behind the
Right.
barricade.
So what kind of barricade?
A metal, like a tall metal barricade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so where did the barricade come up to your waist or between your waist and your chest?
I
or-
would have been on it like this, like my hands. So it would have come up to like
Wow.
my boobs.
How tall are
basically.
you?
5'4". Yeah. So if I would have leaned on him, I would have had to lean down, and it would have been not comfortable.
That doesn't make sense to me, being 5'4", and then but the barricade would have came.
You should
up
have
to
been a
your
cop,
breast.
man.
I know. Don't give it up, though. Don't give anything up. What do you think, Jessica?
Well, I want to get to the fight. When did you hit him?
Well, okay.
Was it a physical fight?
No, it was a screaming match. It turned into a screaming
Oh,
match.
you made it out like you fought this dude. I was waiting for you to like.
He was
slam
already
one.
in a wheelchair. What more am I going to do?
He's just a little shitty, not a piece of shit, Jessica.
Clarification. Yes, thank you. No, I mean, I guess because I'm such not a fighter that even like screaming at someone this feels like a big fight to me. But it happened when he tried to like wedge himself, merge on Laurel Canyon, like he said, in between me and the kid. And she started freaking out because she was like, oh my God, he's touching me and he's got his hand on my hip. She really got upset. And that's when I turned and lost my mind on him.
And did he look, and I don't mean this.
How did you know the girl was 18?
Because she was back at the VIP meet and
she
greet
told
with me.
you?
I was talking to her and her dad.
But I guess my question is this, and this is so wrong, but fuck it. Like, how did he look like normal from waist up? No, because
Was he
Yeah.
paralyzed?
Well,
like
Ken
mine-
Lofgren was
yeah.
actually wondering, was he quadriplegic or
yeah.
paraplegic? But
Thank
I'm
you for saying
assuming
it
he
in the
must be
correct way,
paraplegic
Ken.
if he was
Thank you,
tapping
because I was about to get
on
letters.
the back.
Yeah.
He seemed like I couldn't see what was wrong. I wouldn't know because he seemed fine. He just happened to be in a wheelchair.
So both arms were working.
Yes, kind of a heavier set guy, maybe in his 50s.
Oh, he was in his 50s?
Yeah.
Oh, he was in his 50s. Nah,
Oh, I
fuck
didn't
that
even tell
shit.
you the best
No.
part. The best part, the other guy in a wheelchair that rolled up
That
to
doesn't
me.
mean that diabetes can't take your foot.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Personal
Fashion.
family history coming out.
We cut deep with it.
yeah,
Fuck, dude.
yeah. But so this is the best part though. Once Zombie started playing, like 10 minutes in, I looked over. The other guy in a wheelchair was standing in his wheelchair.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, they
Stolen
were
valor.
smart,
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I just had this weird vibe about these guys the whole time. That's probably why I wasn't like, yeah, go ahead of me, because I just got a weird vibe.
He was standing
full
in
on
his...
standing in his chair. Not the one that I was arguing with, the other guy.
Stolen valor.
Wow.
I don't know about that.
What were your,
Yeah.
what were your interactions like with Mr. Zombie?
Oh, that's so weird. I wrote Mr. Zombie in my recap. Not that
Mr.
you
Zombie,
know
that's
that.
Standing in
formal.
your wheelchair would be like standing on a fucking hammock. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it
like
doesn't
Yeah.
very safe.
Yeah.
Seems like a good way to get paralyzed.
Yeah. Maybe that's what the other guy did. I don't know. Ugh. I don't know.
Wow.
Doughboy
Yeah.
online is calling this one a lie already. Cal Wiggum said, "Uh-oh, this sounds rather dubious." So I guess he's not buying it either.
Was it a white guy?
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds like a piece of shit white guy deal.
What's the worst thing that guy said to you? The wheelchair bound.
I think it was
50-year-old.
when he said, "Watch your ankles." I mean, that was a
That
full-on
was the worst
threat.
thing he said to you.
Oh no, he said that, and then I think I got into it. I was like, "Listen, I spent a shit ton of money to be here. I've been here for 4 hours. I'm tired. This is really big deal to me. I want to be up front." Like, and then he just said, "Well, if you would just stop being such a bitch about it," and then I think he said, "You're an asshole" or whatever. Typical.
Did you really give it to him that way? Like, this is a big deal to me.
Actually, yeah.
That's such a white lady move.
Well,
It is kind of a white lady.
it is kind of, well, but maybe it'll be less.
white women. It's a white woman man.
Oh my God. Oh no, but I'm about to shatter your whole world.
Okay.
The reason why it was a big deal to me is because I just lost my mom.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I was like, I just want a night where I can just have fun and forget that I'm sad.
Oh, she's good.
Yeah.
Look at her throwing that in there.
Yeah.
Man, if this is a
White
lie,
lady guilt trip.
if this
If this is a lie, I will set myself on fire. I mean, that's pretty bad.
That is
But maybe it's
also-
really good. You don't know.
That is
Ooh.
also a white lady move.
To pull the cancer card. Yeah.
Well, I know your mother did recently pass, so that part is true. But no, but I just can't say, "Oh, my mom died. I want to go see Rob Zombie." That's kind of
Wow,
odd.
this has really hardened us.
Yeah, I know.
You were just like, yeah, your mom died.
I know.
I
Our
love
moms died too.
This is great.
This is hilarious.
All right,
Oh my
is that so?
God.
That's your story.
That's the story.
That's the story.
Leah said that she seemed to hesitate when Felicia asked her what the big deal was because she could see over him. So she's leaning towards this being a lie.
Yeah,
It was a good question.
The boob thing, with the rail, that's a little high, even for someone 5'4", I would say, because I photograph concerts sometimes, and that seems kind of high.
But if you're on the rail there, it is a good place to be able to rest your beer.
Yeah, and you know what? Fuck that.
Yeah.
It's a good point that you'd be able to see, but also fuck that. If someone was approaching me and I'd been there for a long time, and it was like, it's grueling, you just want this to start, and I just don't want him right there because he's being a dick. Maybe if he'd handled it different, but it's like now I just don't want to help you.
Yeah.
I fucking totally get it.
Yeah.
I don't care if I can see over the wheelchair.
Wow.
I'm liking gingers more and more.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Michael would have gave him the spot like that.
I would have gave the spot.
I would have said, fine, roll up, buddy, but you're never going to walk again.
I get what you're saying because when Barack Obama was first running for president, I went with my girlfriends and we drove to Vegas and then we volunteered somewhere where Bill Clinton was going to come in at some high school gym. And so I got in charge of, because we signed up to do good stuff. So, I got in charge of putting the handicapped people in their spot. That was my job, and most were very, very kind, but they are like humans. They're like everybody else, everyone.
But this is a Rob Zombie concept.
Yeah,
it's different than
They're
Bill
almost
Clinton.
exactly like humans.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I didn't mean it.
Oh my god.
Listen, I have a lot of baggage from my mom.
Do you believe that this is the line we're
She
telling?
wasn't human. Good point, Michael.
Yeah,
and
half
fuck you.
mom, half machine.
Well, she was kind of.
You just pulled a Samantha.
I know.
You did.
You
It's
know what
contagious.
I'm saying?
Careful.
It's like kids. You know what I mean? Like, people are like, you should always be nice to kids, but you know what? Some of them fucking kids are assholes. You know what I mean? Handicaps are like that. They're
crying?
normal people. No, because I'm laughing so hard because I fucking feel so embarrassed, and that was hilarious.
Too, if
Yeah,
think
you
this
can talk
is
too.
bullshit or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, she's like, handicaps are human, bitch. Move on.
I feel like it's true. Just too many
You
details.
do?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
I do.
Because of the too many details.
Yeah, because the too many details, and because I think it's plausible that this dude had a really bad day, and maybe he's just a dick, and maybe he lost his mom too. Maybe that's what makes the story beautiful.
Maybe his mom
in
left
my
him
world,
behind.
Lost
in
her
my
like
sweet
shoes.
fantasy land. That's what I'm imagining.
Only we could have
So
him on.
you're telling me you would rather stand there, and have somebody that's handicapped glare in the back of your head so that you could have enjoyment to forget the how desperate you felt, desperately sad you felt about your mother. That was a comforting thing to have someone fucking hate watch Rob Zombie behind you because you wouldn't give him a fucking spot. That's the story you're telling us.
When you put it that way, absolutely.
But he was a prick. If someone was
Yeah.
a prick to me and I'd just lost my mom, I'd go, this guy's the piece of shit in
Yeah.
this situation.
Because my whole thing was like, dude, it's 10 minutes. I know that you're like just pulling that card and just, excuse me, like you're an asshole. No, we've all been there for hours.
Did you fart in his face?
Yeah.
Oh,
God,
that's a good
I
question.
mean, I may have. I don't know. I don't remember
Oh,
intentionally
see,
doing
you would
that.
remember that. I would be like, "Oh, this
I didn't
is
do it
for
on
you,
purpose.
buddy."
Hey, was it one of those
Damn it.
was it one of those
Should've.
like at the mall, at the hospital style wheelchairs, or was it one of those
Like
I'm
racy,
in a wheelchair
racing,
for a long time
I'm about to
wheelchairs?
do a 5K in my
seemed
wheelchair.
yeah.
It seemed like an older chair.
Was it electric?
No.
Woogie woogie.
Well,
I
actually, I mean, I don't think so. There were so many people everywhere. It was hard to like see the full chair.
There were
but
so many people.
I don't honestly. I
not
don't know.
obstructing him besides you that you couldn't notice if his chair was
Wow.
electric or not.
I don't know how he got through that many people to get up to the front.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know because he was not there the whole time.
Interesting. He kept telling people to move. You're the last one, and you didn't move.
Yeah.
Wow.
We better move along.
Okay. Erin, let's go with your first story.
Okay. So, I think this is my 23rd birthday. Okay, this is the story of my 23rd
birthday.
birthday party.
I know you want to.
Oh, well,
24 now.
Yes, I'm 24 now.
well.
Yep. And so I was down the street. I decided this day that I was going to day drink. And I go to the Saddle Ranch with a group of my friends. And we do mimosas all day long. And that catches up to you, you know. So
Yeah.
this is like before my actual birthday party. We're like, let's get drunk. So we do. And at that point, I go over to a friend's house, like one of my friend's place I'd never been to before. And we end up like drinking more at this house. But now I'm doing vodka, whatever, other shit. So we're drinking more and more, and we're going to this final event that we're supposed to go to, which is actually an event that I'm supposed to work at. Weirdly enough, I don't know why I decided to work on my birthday, but one of my friends was like, why don't you do this? Like, it's going to be a fun party. We're all going to be there anyway. And the guy will give you $100 if you just like wear this t-shirt at this art gallery, like whatever, like advertising his company. So I'm like, okay. But we get so
if that's
drunk.
work, sign me up.
We get
No one has a heart to tell you. No one has a heart.
Jessica's being pet right now.
we get so drunk at this person's house that like I don't even make it to this event. And I foolishly thought that even after this point that I would be able to go out again. It's 1 a.m. and we all meet up, all my friends that made it to this art party and this other group of people who I was with, we all converge in the garage of my friend's apartment complex. And we're thinking, okay, at this point, we're going to go out to a bar in like somewhere in West LA. And it's 1 a.m. I've been drinking probably since like 10 a.m. And I decide to get on this, like a, God, how do I describe it? It's almost like a dolly. It's kind of like this thing that has one layer and then like a second layer, but wheels on it. I think people use it to move things.
Oh, and it's like a chair.
No, it's flat. It's like something like you would roll
like a cart,
like a heavy piece of furniture
cart, like you'd
on.
put on, like
a
you would
flat cart. Yeah.
Yeah, you would put a
with a handle.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know what that's called.
Right.
But I get on one of
cart.
these. And a cart. There we go.
No,
I
it's
get
not a
on
cart.
the cart.
It's like something you use.
furniture cart.
Is it?
Like a flat
why
thing
not?
with
Yeah.
wheels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a big dolly kind of.
Yes, but
Yeah.
there's two levels to it. So I'm
Like
on
you would get at Lowe's or something.
Yeah, like a
Something-
Home
yeah, like
Depot
that.
thing.
Oh, like a flat
Okay.
thing with
Yeah.
wheels.
a flat
Oh,
thing with
I
wheels.
got it. Cool.
Yeah.
But it's not completely flat. Like it has a second layer. This is kind of important to the story. So and I'm on top of it. I sit on top of it, and my friend comes from behind me, who was also drinking all day with me, and pushes me down a slope. You know, the parking garage when it like does a decline, pushes me down fast. Very fast, and I can't hold on because it's flat. There's nothing for me to hold on to, and I go flying off the dolly, hit my head on the ground, and I don't remember anything after that. Okay, I wake up the next day, I go to the bathroom, and I see myself in the mirror, and I don't even recognize myself. I have 2 black eyes. My nose is completely swollen, and so is my entire cheek on this side. Like I'm like. Basically, like I look like crazy. And I just start laughing because I'm like, what the hell? And my vision is blurry. I can't see stuff. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And obviously I have a really, really bad hangover. And what I'm realizing is like I go to the hospital because I'm just like feeling awful. But what I realized happened is I got a concussion. And my drunk ass friends let me go to sleep on my birthday with a concussion. Ooh. And I go to Cedars-Sinai the next day. They check me out. They're like, girl, you need to get a CAT scan. Like, this is bad. Like, we don't know if you have broken bones. Like, we don't know what's happening, blah, blah, blah. So I like go and I like a week later, I go and get a CAT scan. And
why a week later?
Because with my insurance, that's when I could get in or whatever, which is probably a bad idea. And I kept working with a concussion. I didn't know, like, I had no idea, like, what I was even dealing with.
What kind of work were you doing?
At the time, I was doing video content for a startup. I was, like, producing and writing video content. So I was, like, going to work, like, with sunglasses on because, like, light, you're really sensitive to light when you have a concussion. So I'd be, like, on the computer with sunglasses. And, like, I just shouldn't have gone to work. Like, I don't think I really grasped how serious the situation was.
Did you even go to a Rob Zombie concert?
I didn't go. I wouldn't have made it. I would.
Were you still friends with these people afterwards?
You know what? I'm friends with some of them actually, but like again, like now, like as an adult, I look back at how crazy and how dumb that was, and how the hell did they let me go to sleep? Like they saw what happened, right? And clearly they must have helped me get up, like back to the building. But yeah, it was just we're just like business is normal. And I think like that at that point in time in my life, that's when I realized that like I need to be more careful about like decisions I'm making and friends and like in day drinking. I don't day drink anymore. And that's also when I decided, because I didn't know if my face was going to be fucked up. I couldn't tell. Am I allowed to cuss? Sorry.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Just
Well, we-
call
I
them.
didn't know.
Handicap people unhuman. I think you
Oh
can
my
say
God.
whatever you want on this podcast.
My face was so disfigured that I couldn't tell if I had broken orbital bones or bones in here. in
So,
my face.
so you were
So I didn't-
bleeding? Were you bleeding?
I was not bleeding. I was
bruised.
just swollen.
Just
swollen
bruised.
and bruised.
No
and
blood whatsoever.
No, well, no.
Scrapes.
I don't
Scrapes.
think so. Maybe minor, but mostly just like completely like bruised and bad.
Uh-huh.
And so I didn't know if I was gonna have to have like reconstructive surgery or like what was actually going on in there. And that's when I decided I wanted like actually take like acting and stand up seriously, because I was like, anything could happen. I could have died.
That's a fucking leap.
No, for real.
Look at this face.
serious.
I could see this in movies.
I can't keep wearing shirts to events. I need something to fall back on.
I could have died. I was like, I gotta take.
Oh my
this
god!
chance.
How many friends were there with you?
God, I remember so few details because of the concussion, but I want to say at the point of time when
Convenience.
I was in the garage, probably like 5 or 6.
And how many of those were women and how many were men?
God, at least 2 women and maybe the rest were dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always more apt to believe this because when I was 18 and went to Lakenheath in England, first duty station, we hadn't even went to work yet, but we could drink because it was 18. So we went to go get alcohol. On the way back, I stepped in a hole, totally broke my foot. Right?
Oh my God.
And then they helped me get back to the dorm room. And then they kept trying to just get me to drink. And I was like, dude, that's my leg and it's sticking out.
Dude, I got the same.
That's my foot.
I got the same shit. I broke my foot drinking with friends. Like we heard it pop, and they did the thing like oh, it's gonna stiffen up if you
Right.
don't loosen it. Like walk on it before it
Right.
gets tightened up, and it popped again. And we went to a bonfire, walked down these trails, just getting drunker and drunker, and the long bone from the pinky to the heel was just in half in there, and I was in a cast for 4 months and shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But did your friends abandon you?
You know what? They didn't.
yeah, we did.
They didn't abandon me, but I do understand. Listen, I've had, believe it or not, I've had quite a few head injuries.
I think we all believe that.
Yeah, I've bumped my head pretty hard a few times. And I've also been in a lot of stupid drinking situations with friends, like in college. I understand the fear of running away. If someone's really fucked up, if she looks half as bad as she's talking about that she looked, people want to be like, yo, this isn't my deal. Let's just get this lady somewhere to lay down and get the fuck out of here.
Which
you
is
know?
so sad.
Super
'cause
sad,
these
but
are
it does
actually
happen.
my
It's-
friends.
Yeah. Nah, those were my
Yeah.
friends. I think we
Yeah.
knew each other.
I don't know. I'm kind of like, if there's 5 people and 2 are chicks, someone's going to be responsible out of those 5 and say, no, that's not cool.
Nope.
Well, she's unconscious, Jessica. It's a different thing when you're like, oh, dude, my foot.
Well,
you know
we
what I
don't-
mean? But she, you know,
we don't
that's
know
my
that,
impression of you,
though.
Michael. But
I might have been awake enough.
oh, you don't know
At
if
the time.
I don't.
Yeah,
I
and then
don't
she went to
remember.
sleep. You're not
I
supposed
went
to go
to
to sleep on a concussion.
mentally,
yeah.
and I physically went.
you
to
blacked
sleep.
out, so you don't know if you. Huh.
I don't know if I was able to walk from the garage.
Well, didn't you ask your
or-
friends? Didn't you ask, like, what the fuck, dude? What did you say to your friends?
I think honestly, at the time, I was so like embarrassed about the whole thing that I just kind of like I said, I just had no idea of like the gravity of the situation, how serious it was.
So so how many of those 5 people are you still friends with?
I'm friends. Well, I'm like close friends with one of them.
And you never
the
said
girl.
what the fuck that night. You never said what actually fucking happened.
No, not really. I think that I need to. At this point, I'm really bad with
Let's call him right now.
confrontation.
I got a question. What? So you said you went to the hospital a couple days later,
Well, I think I went the very next day.
and what happened to the hospital?
Well, they just looked at me and they were like, "You have black eyes.
Well, you
and
gotta rest up,
need-
whatever.
And you need to get a CAT scan, and you need to figure out if you have broken bones." And like it was so bad they couldn't tell. Like the swelling was just. They couldn't
And
tell
you
what was
didn't have
going on.
insurance?
I did have insurance.
And the
but it
hospital said,
wasn't-
no, maybe come back in a couple of days with
Well,
your
no, with
broken
the CAT
orbital
scan,
bone.
I kind of get that too because they will make you an appointment and you can't get in right away all the time.
Right. And they couldn't tell if it was like a
Yeah, but
brain.
that's the VA we're talking about, Cedar Sinai.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like there's
I
a
think
slight
I had
difference.
Blue Shield at the time.
If you had
Blue
Blue Shield and you were that jacked up that they wouldn't take a CAT scan.
They made me go. I got X-rays. Then they made me go to see if there was anything going on, like mentally. They made me go to my doctor, and then I had to get a referral to someone that could do the CAT scan. So it was like the whole thing took like maybe 1.5, 2 weeks or something to
And
get
you
everything
never asked the
checked out.
one girl, like, what the fuck? Or did
know
you
what?
or said to her at least, if this ever happens again, don't fucking abandon
The
me.
thing that I should have said that, but like the thing that I really think I should have done is I think I should have made all those assholes pay for my CAT scan because I paid like a lot. I paid $2,000
Out of pocket?
Not completely because it was partially covered, but they're expensive. And I should have made them fucking buy me that for my birthday. Like, thanks, get me a CAT scan. But I
Yeah.
paid
Bow
for it
on
out
it.
of pocket. And at the time, I was so broke that my dad paid for it because I started getting collection bills. So I was like, Dad. And so he covered it. And I remember like the next year for Christmas, I saved money from every paycheck. And I had like a little account. And like for next year on Christmas, I gave my dad a check for the amount of the CAT scan.
Next time you should try to make a deal. Like, what if I wear this logoed iPad?
I know! Right?
Good point,
I
Jessica.
wasn't
Good point.
industrious like that back then. you guys.
What are your thoughts, Austin, and what are people's thoughts online?
Well, folks online, Jason Marino said, day drinking since 10 a.m. That sounds like a story that he can relate to.
Who said that?
That was Jason Marino.
Okay.
Doughboy said, Jessica drives a rascal. I'm not sure exactly what the reference is
Only
there.
when I go to Walmart, bitch.
Hell yeah.
Also,
Oh, you have one of those little scooters?
Raver Basher
You
said,
rode in one. Shut up.
Raver Basher said to tell Erin no maims. I don't know what that means. M-A-M-E-S. No,
No,
maims.
ma'ams? That's ma'am.
No, M-A-M-E-S is maims.
Oh, maims.
Yeah, so
What does that mean?
I don't know
not
what that
sure. I thought maybe
means.
you could clarify.
No memes.
You wanna
Is
know
that
Raver Basher?
Mexican?
Yes, Jessica, it's Mexican. It's Mexican. We all know what it means. If you live here in Los Angeles 2 more years, you'll know what it means in Mexican. Anyway.
Wow. I was like, really?
No. You're like, whoa. So.
Hey, good news. I was already thinking about finding a way to believe this story, and Kenneth Lofgren just said this is a lie. So so I'm on the right track.
Well, Kia was
She
thinking.
used the word referral when she talked. She needed a referral, so it gummed shit up.
Why? That's what
Why?
happens, though, when you're
Yeah,
doing
you have to get
insurance.
I know, but I mean, like
When
it would
you
have
have
been
bad
if she's
insurance.
lying, I'd be impressed.
Well,
I'd be
it-
impressed by the details.
Funny,
Yeah,
funny you
okay,
should say
fair
bad
enough.
insurance because Kia was thinking that you said you went to the doctor the next week, and I said that I think that was for the CAT scan, not for
Yeah,
the actual
I
doctor
went
visit. And
to-
said Leah said insurance do be like that sometimes. So
I went
have
to
to
Cedar
wait.
Sinai, my doctor, and then I went to get the
I don't know. Cedar Sinai, that's the one, that's a good thing to get hung up on because I had a surgery at Cedar Sinai and I've taken people there and my own kids to Cedar Sinai when they've had emergencies.
Yeah, but you're a
can't-
celebrity.
Yeah,
right.
you're a celebrity.
Right. But I can't imagine that if they were that concerned that you needed to get a CAT scan, that they would do it so where you had to wait a week. And if you did have insurance,
Well, now she was already alive. She made it through the night. I feel like that's the big thing. I could see a week not being crazy.
And you were how old?
I was 23.
Oh, dude, young people, you put shit off. Like I didn't go to the hospital for that foot for a week. It was just broken. It was all
Yeah,
big.
but she already went to the hospital. She's just talking about the CAT scan.
Mm-hmm.
They referred
my
her to
bad,
get a
my
CAT
bad.
scan, and they couldn't get her in until a week later.
Oh, okay. So I was just making sure you knew.
all right. So we're gonna.
Perfect. Jessica's caught up. We're good.
Okay. All right.
You're so kind.
He's a very kind guy. Let's go to your second story.
Okay, so second story is I've gone out with Warren Beatty.
What?
Yeah,
He's hot.
yeah.
Is he
I know.
single? Is he alive?
No, he's he's alive.
he is alive.
He's not single.
When you
that's
say
lame.
go out, what do you mean by that?
Like went out to dinner with him and kind of got a little flirty.
She blew his mind and he forgot
How
how to
old
read
were
at the
you?
Oscars.
I must have been 24 or so. I mean,
Uh-huh.
he's definitely still older at this point.
Uh-huh.
But yeah,
Felicia's
you're
skeptical as
skeptical
shit.
right off the
So
bat.
you're
Look
going to
at
have to
that.
give more details because
Right. So so my great aunt was a script supervisor, and she worked on like all of his movies. So the skipper's sister worked on all of his movies.
Right.
And so I had met him like when I was a kid, when I was, I don't know, like 10 or 11 or something. I met him. And he's nothing. That wasn't then. Nothing happened then. But
Just 1 second. Do you know who Warren Beatty is?
oh god. Wait, were you being serious? Yes. Bulworth. No, that's a bad reference. She wouldn't know that. Dick Tracy.
Dick
Okay.
The guy that
that's
played
Warren
Dick
Beatty.
Tracy.
But I thought that was. I still don't
No,
know
you
really
saw the
though.
movie remake probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, of Dick Tracy?
Yeah, I think they did
They
one in
made
the
another
90s
one?
or something.
Oh.
No, that was
no, that was the one.
Oh, that was the one?
Madonna was in it
Madonna
too.
was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
totally on board.
Yeah.
Totally. Jess, you're an idiot. I know who that is. You're such an idiot.
Finally,
Yeah.
you beat her.
I definitely know who that
I've
is.
heard the name.
I'm a big
Yeah.
Warren
Yeah.
Beatty fan.
Yeah, okay. Well, so was I.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's
He was
that.
very handsome in like
Very,
the
very
60s,
handsome.
70s,
I mean, he
and
still
and
looks-
80s. Yeah,
he
he's
still looks
he's a
good.
handsome old man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But I ran into him at a play. He was there, and I just walked right up to him. I was like, "Hi, I don't know if you. I met you when I was younger. My aunt is Karen." And he started talking to me, and he was super nice. And I thought he was kind of a little flirty, but then I thought, "Oh no, he's just Warren Beatty being Warren Beatty." But he gave me his phone number, and we talked on the phone a couple of times, and then eventually we went out to dinner.
And was he married then?
Mm-hmm.
He was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What did you have for dinner?
We had wow.
That's the way you asked that. What did you have for dinner?
Is that
A little
the
wiener
details
schnitzel.
gonna
yeah, where did Warren Beatty take
Warren
you?
schnitzel.
I know. Well, I kind of figured it's not like he's worried about money, right? So I think I had a seafood pasta with like.
But where? From where?
It was this little place down on Santa Monica. What was it called? And this was a while ago. I was, like I said, I was 26. I don't remember what it was
I thought
called.
you said you were 24.
20. So I said 24 or 20. I don't remember. 24 or 25. Mid-20s.
There are so many ages, you know. It's
There's so
tough.
many ages. I don't remember. I'm just
really
trying
hard.
to think
Many
of
ages.
because I met him when I was in this class, and I'm trying to remember when I took that
But
class.
I feel like
but it
if
was
you
like
went out
mid-20s.
with this obviously famous guy, Warren Beatty, and he took you out, you would remember exactly where he took you and what you ate and the whole night.
I want to say it was a seafood place, like Delmonico's.
Why are you acting like
Delmonico's.
Why not?
No,
You're acting
Santa
like
Monica.
this.
He's not gonna take me somewhere in the valley. Jesus Christ, that'd
This
be
is
embarrassing.
Warren Beatty.
That was Warren Beatty.
He's
I know.
take you to the valley.
Yeah, if I was Warren Beatty and I was married to Annette Bening and I was attracted to some 24-year-old girl, I'd fucking take her to the valley. I'm not going to take her to Beverly Hills where all my friends are.
I know.
Good
I
point.
know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, that's where it was.
But then he could be like, this is a business meeting.
I think he kind of, I mean, we kind of got
Right.
into it of like, oh, I knew your aunt. So it kind of started as like, that's the way to, oh, yeah, Karen was lovely, da-da-da. And then it, kind of
Did he kiss you on the cheek after dinner?
Yes.
He did?
Yes.
Yeah, did he smell like old man?
No. He smelled like cologne. I don't know what it was. He smelled good.
Smell like seafood.
He smelled, I smelled like seafood.
And so
Oh.
did he bend down to kiss you?
He'd have to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
he's a
All
lot
right, just
taller
trying
than
to
me.
check that out.
Yeah.
Did you tongue him?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Did you ever talk to him again?
I talked to him once more after that.
Uh-huh.
And then I think we both realized this is not
Yeah.
good. I wasn't quite comfortable with it,
And you
but
knew
I was
he was
also
married,
like,
right?
yeah, that's why I wasn't quite comfortable. And I
Did
think
you say what's up?
no, no, I didn't because because I didn't want. I knew it was weird, and I knew that I probably shouldn't be there, so I didn't bring it up. He didn't bring it up. We just had a great dinner.
Wow, that guy in the wheelchair must have been a real asshole.
Raver Basher says, went out with Warren Beatty. Okay, boomer.
Boomer.
Aw.
Dang, dude. Hey, that's not your fault, Austin. That's
No, it's
his.
sorry.
Yeah.
Wait, what's boomer?
Oh, it's a new thing. I don't even
Yeah,
really know.
it's a
Boom, baby
joke
boomer.
that everyone says. Okay,
For a
boomer.
Oh, I'm so not
It's
with
like
it.
a slur for people.
You might
of
not
a
even be a
certain
baby
age.
boomer. I don't even know.
I'm
what-
not even a baby boomer.
No,
But
no.
I also am kind of
No,
out
no.
of touch the fact that I thought
You're
Warren
Jen-
Beatty
you're-
was hot. So,
Yeah.
there's that.
I think that was the.
No, I think
Sorry,
he meant that
Raver Basher.
towards Warren Beatty.
What's that?
Yeah.
Not the
Oh,
okay
to
boomer
him?
thing.
Yeah.
I think he
Yeah.
meant
Sorry, Raver Basher.
Yeah.
We don't mean to
Yeah,
dissect
no.
your joke here. It was
Yeah.
funny. You did
I know,
good.
you did great.
It's not kill Tony.
That was our
Yeah,
fault.
I
You did fine.
No.
Hey, Raver Basher, make no mistake. Keep trying to bring the heat. It was okay,
yeah,
really.
yeah,
But
I like it. I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know.
that's why we want you guys to play along.
Now,
Yeah.
is Warren Beatty like handsome like Brian Holtzman?
Brian Holtzman, who's that? What show is he on?
Is Brian
No.
Holtzman handsome?
I think so, actually.
Wait, give
Yeah.
me a reference. What is he?
Brian Holtzman, the comedian.
He works
Looks like
here.
if
He
Walt
always
Disney
comes
never
at
died.
night.
Oh, I trying to. I don't remember what Brian looks like.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
no, he doesn't look like Brian Holtzman.
He's very-
And I think
Yeah.
Brian Holtzman's cutie pie, but he does not look
See?
like Brian Holtzman.
Yeah, no.
He's very handsome.
He's
he was
very,
a-
very tall. Very
Yeah.
kind of like just a big in stature,
Yeah.
tall.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
he real? He's from a very different era of courting, of courtship. Was he old school in ways that were kind of weird, outdated? Did he do anything that felt like, whoa, I'm not with someone from my generation?
No, I don't think he cares about that. He's Warren Beatty. I think he was just being his charming self. I mean, yeah, like he pulled out the chair for me, opened the car door, but
What'd y'all talk about?
we talked about, family. Until then he was like, so how's your acting career going? And then I think, honestly, that might have been part of it was I thought, oh, he's going to help me. I think that's kind of the allure. And
If
then
you
I
would've helped him,
realized,
you probably would have.
yeah, because I kind of I think I was in over my head realizing I don't want to do this.
Fuck, I'd get in over my head
Me
with that.
too.
dude.
I know.
Fuck it, man. Where's he at? I'll blow him today. Just
So
get
let
me
me
in
ask you this.
something.
This is what I
Yeah.
keep thinking when I hear this story is I know he has kids.
Yeah.
Right? And so you're just out here blah blah blah. Warren Beatty wanted to hit this shit. You don't even think about like
I think when you're, young and you want to be an actor, you think, oh, this guy's going to help me. You try not to. You're like, oh, I didn't do anything.
No, I
didn't-
mean now, telling the story now. What about if like maybe his kids are comedy fans and they're like, "What the fuck, Dad?"
Oh, wow. I never thought
Yeah.
about that. Oh, no. Well, nothing happened. We weren't together.
Well, I have something to tell you, Samantha.
Yeah.
I went out with Skipper.
Oh, my God. How
Dun,
was
dun,
it?
dun.
Was he good?
Yeah, tongue and all.
Oh,
Yeah, and first of all, I think
man.
if
It's a 3-hour tour.
Did he call you?
Wow, Austin, that was great.
that was a good one.
That was
That's how you
great.
do it, Ray Rabasher. kidding.
Did he say, who's your little buddy?
Totally kidding, Ray. Totally kidding.
Yeah, eat shit, Raver Basher. Yeah, probably in a wheelchair.
Oh,
Hey.
not human, not human.
Thank you for leaning into the awful with me.
Oh, you're welcome. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
we're going to go there.
So
Doughboy wants us to clip the sound bite where Samantha said, "I smelt like seafood," and just use that.
Hey, if that gets me a meme on the internet, I smell like
well,
seafood.
and here's the thing
I'll
I
take care of
also don't buy is if your dad was your grandfather was Alan Hale, you know the ugly of showbiz. You know that even if someone really helps you in showbiz, there ain't no fucking help. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but when you're that age, when you're mid-20s, you will tell yourself whatever you need to tell yourself
Yeah.
to think this guy he's actually interested because he asked me a lot of questions like how's your acting going? What have you done? Have you taken classes? Oh, cool. I really believed it.
Yeah.
I really thought that this is a guy that is
look at
interested.
this
Be
fucking
careful.
liar over here. Look
You
at
have to
her.
be careful because you won't believe the things Felicia makes me do for her.
I make her handle the calendar.
No.
All right, let's move on to your second story.
Okay, so there are some names in the story that I don't want to reveal.
Oh, I know. I said
Take a
Okay.
note, Samantha.
But I'm sorry, there's this name on the floor. I got to pick it up. I'm sorry.
Okay, so this happened maybe like 2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And I do this thing with a friend of mine that lives in the area called an urban hike, which means we just walk on the street. So we find a bar and then we get Bloody Marys in the morning. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So it's probably like 10 a.m.
Wait, whoa,
And-
whoa. You said no more day drinking, and it's now only 2 years later, and you're fucking
Well,
day drinking.
Bloody Mary doesn't count.
Yes, it does.
Technically, that's breakfast. So,
It's just tomato.
no, this was not like a day drinking expedition. Like we were like, just going to have one and come back.
Uh-huh.
So we go to the what's that place called? Ye Old Rustic Inn. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Where is that?
It's
I've seen that sign
it's on
before.
Vermont or something.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
It's like a little dive bar. They make chicken wings and whatever. It's like a football bar. So we end up walking that far. We go there and we go inside, and I see someone there I know who is someone that worked at the Comedy Store, and I'm like, oh hey dude, what's up? How?
Worked, like
Yeah, what
This
position? What
Or,
position?
like,
Door guy? Door
this
guy?
worked.
A door guy in the past. So I'm like, oh hey dude, what's up? How's everything? Well, we're having a conversation.
What's his initials?
I don't want to say because you guys know him. I'm not gonna tell you.
Is he still a door guy?
No,
And wait, and this is 2 years ago?
I think so. Yeah,
They have a
think
roster.
so.
They're just waiting.
yeah, yeah. I think I'm gonna say this had to have been 2 years ago, and it was in the springtime, and this comes into play later in the story. So
Does it rhyme with Barry Lannis?
I'm not saying shit, Felicia.
Wow.
So we're having this conversation and we're catching up, and then out of the corner of my eye comes someone that was a celebrity who was famous in the 90s. I'm also not going to say who they are.
I gotta learn from her.
And this is kind of like a out of date celebrity-ish, you know what I mean? Let's just kind of known for being messy, being a hot mess.
In a wheelchair. Yeah, all the stuff.
Male or female?
Male.
Oh, it's gonna be the one addicted to drugs.
The one?
Corey Feldman?
No,
Wow.
I'm thinking.
What a
I'm
Paul
thinking
Feldman.
woman.
No, she
She
said
said
a
male.
guy.
Man.
Oh,
rock
it's a
star?
man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Male rock
In the-
star? Is that
in
what
the
you said?
90s?
No.
Was
actor.
it
Actor.
TV show or movie star?
I think he did both.
Macaulay Culkin.
No. This is no
Was it action or comedy or drama?
comedy.
But like a stand-up comedian?
He might have had a small stand-up career, but like primarily not known for stand-up. Known for
What's the most
acting.
obscure title he's been in?
Obscure title?
Yeah, like something that you
I'm
might
not
know.
a fan of this person's body of work. I don't
Well, how do we
know.
know he's a...
Because you would just know them for being a hot mess famous person. We'll leave it at that.
T.J. Miller.
So this person, I'm starting
Yeah,
to
but
realize
he has a bigger comedy career than just a little.
That's true.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. So I'm putting together as this guy comes out of the corner of the eye of the bathroom. I'm starting to realize that he is there with the comedy store door guy person, and I'm like, oh. And then I'm talking to them, and then I'm starting to realize, oh wait, this is not their morning. This is their night. They have not gone to bed yet. Like, they are still raging. And I'm like, oh my God, this is wild. Like, what the fuck? And so I start.
You know what's funny is you see the look of surprise on her face, like, and.
For me, that's crazy because I'm like, I just can't. Anyway, so I'm realizing that they're still partying, and I'm there with my friend, and then we all get a booth together, and we're all sitting together, and the 90s washed up dude, celebrity guy, starts like kind of starting to like hit on me, and I am kind of just like, okay, this is a little bit weird, you know, so I'm trying to diffuse the situation because I know how fucked up they all are, you know. And then I ask him, I'm like, hey, like, so what, like, how are you? Like, what's really going on? Like, you know, like, if we're gonna be here in this booth and have this conversation, like, I'm just kind of like one of those people that I'm really bad with small talk, and I just was like, what's actually going on? And he starts to cry.
Is this a person still working to this day?
Working like as an entertainer?
Yeah.
I think so, on a small level.
And what
Here
do you
and
mean
there.
by small level? Like
Maybe they're in some like straight to DVD movies. You know, if there's no DVDs, but you know what I mean. Like straight to, I don't know.
YouTube.
Yeah, straight to YouTube. But he starts crying. He's now in tears.
A man
And-
crying? I don't know.
And I don't know what to do. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And then I'm like, are you okay? And he's like, I'll never forget this because I wanted to laugh so hard. He says, my kids hate me, and rightfully so. And it was just so dramatic that I was just like, wait, what? And I'm trying not to laugh because it's so weird that he's like being so like theatrical about it, like almost like to the point of histrionics, like sobbing, really upset.
Histrionics. What is this?
It just means
something
he's-
Warren Beatty
he's
does.
going nuts.
Jess, I know what histrionics means. You suck. I totally know what that means.
What does it mean?
I'm seeing if you know.
Jesus,
okay.
It's like the battle of the nitwits here.
Hey, was it Michael Richards?
Or Matthew Perry or Bobcat Gold.
Michael Richards is a good
Or
guy.
Ethan Hawke.
Oh, is that what people are
Yeah, that's
saying?
what people are saying
That's
What,
online.
Ethan
very
Hawke
good.
a washed up star? I thought
No.
he was like, I don't know.
Somebody also just said Carlos Mencia, but that would rule out the
Yeah.
comedy thing. But no, I like the Ben Stiller, but that's not washed up.
Oh my God.
Matthew Perry though, that's pretty good. That's a
Matthew
good.
Perry never has to work a day again in his life. Like he's got so much
But you can
residual
still
money. I'm
be
sure.
washed up and not
Oh,
work
well,
a day
yeah,
in your
yeah.
life,
Yeah.
right? Like, I don't
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: your grandpa never got residuals, right?
No.
Ain't that some shit? And
It's-
those guys never
fuck.
got residuals.
Uh-huh.
I
People-
read that once, like 20
uh-huh.
years ago, and I was like, "Fuck!" They
People
never got
always
residuals.
assume they're like, "Oh, you must have that
Nope.
TV money." I'm like, "No, that started in the 70s." I think Dawn Wells got something out of it because she married an agent and he got something for her, but she was the only one that got anything.
And
Ted
they played
Turner owns
that
all the rights.
over and over and over.
Ted Turner,
Yeah.
him and his estate, they're making everything off of it.
Yeah.
Wow,
Mhm.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so it's not Carlos Mencia.
No.
Washed up '90s actors.
I
That's
know
it.
we're
You-
not even
Watch
listening
that.
to the
Dave
rest of your fucking
Coulier,
story.
John
right?
Stamos. Well, John
Dave
Stamos.
Coulier, you know what? Dave,
Dave
Coulier is
Coulier.
a legend for You Ought to Know.
Well, she kissed Dave Coulier.
I did
so
kiss, but
she might be the cause
and
behind
I
that
get
very
residuals
song.
for that kiss.
Deservedly so.
About 2 pennies once a year.
Wow.
Don't mean to brag.
Wow.
Okay, continue your story.
Okay, so he's crying and he says his kids hate him and rightfully so. And so I feel so bad that I make up a lie. He tells me that his daughter is at Coachella because it's April, it's springtime. And so I'm like, okay. And I'm just like, and I want to make him stop crying. I want to make him feel better. So I make some shit up and I'm just like, I know her. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, we're in acting class together. I just made something up. And he was like, really? And I was like, yes. And she does love you. And she's making good decisions because I know her and she's not the type of girl that's going to get into trouble. She's totally fine. Don't worry. Like, she's going to be safe at Coachella. And it worked. He believed me and he stopped crying. And then they went in the bathroom and did more drugs. Not with me. I didn't.
Now, you know, I
I
gotta.
went home after that. I was like,
I was gonna say when
Gotta
you
get
see
outta
people
here.
that have
Wow.
been that you can tell are on day 2 of partying, is your first thought if you're out drinking not like I wonder if they got any of the drugs left that they're on to be on day 2 here.
my first thought was I want to get out of here.
Oh, word. All right.
I want to make this guy feel good without touching him and get out of here.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is a fun fact, but Erin texted me when I sent her the rules. She was like, "Oh yeah, listening to the episode with Ari Manis right now."
That is fun.
That is a fun fact.
Yeah.
That's a very fun
Yeah,
fact.
did the guy have
Fun fact.
did the guy have a taser?
Interesting.
Did he have a taser on him? That's
Wait,
a very
what?
Ari Manis thing
Yeah.
to have.
That is-
Well, first of all, the thing that you're saying is you don't know if he did stand up at a certain point before he had his career, but then he's hanging out with a door guy here like that. You wouldn't know. You know what I mean? That is weird to me a little.
I don't know. He might, you know how sometimes these like washed up 90s people try to do stand up?
Hey, fuck you, man. Fuck you.
Not you!
Okay.
Talking about dude. Talking about Chris Kattan.
Oh my
No.
god.
Was it Chris Kattan?
No.
Okay.
It was
Oh,
clearly
man.
Chris Kattan.
That just came out so like passionately. Really?
Wow.
Wasn't Chris Kattan?
No, and I do feel bad for Chris. I shouldn't have said that.
Wowee.
I shouldn't have said that.
Wow, you don't confront people that fucking left you for dead
I know,
after you've
right?
crashed your face in a drinking thing, and then you don't name names. You're like
Tell
a
Chris
real good
Kattan
person.
you know his daughter.
I clearly am not.
You're a piece of shit.
All right.
Yeah, either way you look at it, at this point,
Wow.
Whichever one, I'm still a dick.
Well, what are people
Yeah.
saying online there, Austin?
Raver Basher's wondering if Warren Beatty is circumcised. I think from your story.
I didn't sleep with him,
Um,
so I don't know.
Cal
Yeah, but
Wiggum.
I mean, you could know.
He's just wondering.
I can try to find out for you.
No Googling during the show.
That would be awesome if that was a fact on the internet.
Can you imagine?
Kia thinks that this one is true and that the other one was a lie. But then a few seconds later, he said, so I don't know if something you said might have triggered him to flip the other way. He didn't confirm
What's
or deny.
Monkey Bone saying?
Monkey Bone is wondering if Chris Kattan has kids.
Isn't Monkey Bone a Chris Kattan movie?
No, or does he play? He does
Yeah,
play that
he
human
was
version
in
of
that
Monkey
movie.
Bone.
How
was
wild
in
would
that
that
movie.
be?
I
think he was in that movie.
Wow.
The guy we're talking about, we nicknamed Monkey Bone last week because of a story from last week, and now he's bringing up Chris Kattan, so that is pretty full
That's
circle.
full circle.
Man, see, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's why you have the calendar.
Yeah, that's right.
right.
That's exactly right. This is so convoluted. These stories of your guys's. We're going to go and have the recap. But before we do the recap, we just want to say, you know who our advertiser is on this?
Blue Apron. I know.
Blue Apron. You do?
I listened to the
That's
episode
extra
with
credit.
Ari
All
Manis.
right. Do us a big favor. If you are interested in trying a food delivery service, why don't you try Blue Apron, right? It's easy. If you have kids and you don't want to go to the fucking grocery store, again, you guys probably don't even go to the grocery store that are watching live at YouTube. You probably do a lot of Postmates would be my guess. But if you do want to try, sorry, didn't mean to talk about your daytime job.
Yeah, come on, man. Keep Postmates. Need money.
But if you do want to try a food delivery service, please listen to this commercial. But for you guys playing live, you don't need to listen to this commercial. Just do us a favor and think about checking it out. All right.
Use promo code LIARS.
Yes, put promo code LIARS when you go to checkout and you get 30% off.
Yeah, go put the code in, you stupid redheads. It helps us out a lot.
Use promo code LIARS.
Yeah, use
All right.
promo code redheads die.
There's a script for this ad, I promise.
Take back dinner.
Oh, sorry. You're right. You know what? You know what? Sorry, we're doing a
We're
scripted
all
ad.
professional and shit.
I'm bombing. Sorry,
Oh,
guys.
it's all good. No, you were good till
okay,
that
you
point.
It's the red hair. It's all the drugs and alcohol, guys. I'm so.
No, you outwitted Jessica, and now you're even again.
That's it, Jess. We're locked in.
Okay, there you go. So why don't you do the recap real quick?
All right, Samantha's first story. The first fight she ever got into was at a Rob Zombie concert last year with a man in a wheelchair, and she was waiting to meet Mr. Zombie, or as she was waiting to meet Mr. Zombie. She got all upset because he was annoying her and begging her for handicap privilege, and he threatened her ankles. Then another wheelchair gang member came over to intimidate her, but she wasn't shaken, and she gave those crippled fellas a what for. Story 2, she was 24, 25, 26, she's not sure, and went to dinner and got to flirt a little with Warren Beatty because her great aunt, Skipper's sister, worked on all of Warren's movies. And
No, not on all of his movies.
A lot of them.
Oh,
She
she
said
did?
all- hers-
Oh,
yeah,
she did.
I didn't.
Her
I'm
exact
sorry.
words were she worked on all of
Okay,
them.
my apologies.
Who's
my
writing the
apologies.
recap here?
Okay, all right.
And
my
she
apologies.
ran into him
Oh.
somewhere.
You know, like he's never been fucking wrong before, but go ahead.
And she ran into him somewhere and started hitting on her. They exchanged numbers. He called her and sweet talked her sometimes, which somebody online wants to know what the sweet talk things he said
Yeah,
were, but we'll get to
yeah.
that. And she had seafood pasta at this little place on Santa Monica, possibly Delmonico's. Then he kissed her on the cheek and smelled like cologne. And that was
You
it.
know what? And seafood pasta doesn't tell me nothing. Was it shrimp? Was it scallops? What are we talking?
All of it. You know when you get it's like the linguine pasta, you get mussels, clams, and shrimp, and like a red sauce? Like a frutti di mare.
A frittata
Kind-
di mare.
I don't believe this.
No, that's still my favorite
No,
meal.
why?
Like, what is
Expand.
that?
Expand on that. Why don't you believe it?
Yeah. Why?
Help me feel away.
Well,
That sounds
I never-
delicious.
Because the seafood pasta always comes with the white sauce or the buttery sauce.
Not
That's
always.
what my mind goes to.
Yeah.
Thank you, Erin.
That's kind of
Right.
actually what
Yeah.
I was thinking.
I don't. But I don't.
Yeah. We should
I don't
get
eat
pasta.
cream sauces though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Even
red
when you were
sauces.
24?
That's why Warren.
Never.
Really?
I don't like cream
I
sauces.
don't remember there being a Delmonico's in Beverly Hills, but I could be wrong about that because I know there's one or two of them in the valley.
I know
I-
there is definitely one in the valley. It was not that one.
Yeah.
It was not in the valley.
Yeah. God.
Now that's Mexican.
Names.
I want tacos
Jesus.
right now.
That's so difficult
good.
because I don't want to believe you were a jerk to an unhuman person in a wheelchair. Sorry, but I mean, I'm kidding, but I don't want to believe that you were a jerk to someone in a wheelchair. And no
Or
one
was he a jerk to me?
Yeah. Do you think Felicia? Do you really think it's mean to treat
I think he was a jerk to me.
to give that same attitude back to somebody who came up and just assumed that because they're in a certain situation they can act like a dick? I would be more likely to treat him shitty out of spite for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
really.
Like you're not, especially alone. She doesn't have anyone she knows standing directly around her to see to monitor this. She's just like, whatever. Hey, fuck this.
We
fuck
should
you.
start something. Hashtag wheelchair. What is it?
Yeah.
Look what I've done.
Hashtag wheelchair.
No, what did you say?
Hashtag.
Hashtag wheel with it.
Here's a question that no
Awesome.
one's asked. Did you go
Oh, sorry.
alone?
I'm counting both.
I'm,
Sorry.
I'm very sorry.
No.
To the concert?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. No one could go with me. I didn't care. I wanted to go see Rob Zombie. I went by
Wheelchair
myself.
privilege.
Wheelchair privilege. Sorry.
I did.
Better watch your fucking
God,
ankles.
this is a tough one. What
Yeah.
are people saying online? This is tough.
Right now, a lot of people are getting their votes in, and it seems like Doughboy, Jason Marino, Raver Basher, Kia, all on board with the second story being the lie for Samantha, and then Monkey Bone, our buddy Ken Lofgren, going the other way, saying that the first story is the lie for Samantha.
Hey, are you gonna skip over that Raver Basher just said he once stole $100 from somebody in a
He
wheelchair?
did just say that. He did just say that.
Raver Basher's back, baby.
Raver Basher said he said he thought I was selling drugs, and then Doughboy commented #rascal.
Wow. I feel a little better now.
I don't think that you beat up that wheelchair person.
I don't think she beat him up. I thought she said she just had like
It was
had
a
a verbal
verbal
altercation.
assault.
I believe that story 1,000%.
I don't.
I believe
I
it because I
believe
would have
it.
acted the same way. Fuck that
I think
guy.
I would have, but Samantha wouldn't have.
Oh, okay.
I think the
I don't
wheelchair
think
story.
you would have done that because I think if you're, I know it was a horrific thing when your mother passed, and because you shared a lot on Facebook and and I think if you were there to get over your to help you be a little more cheerful from the death of your mother. That's your words, not my words. But I think you would have a lot of empathy for someone who was physically not abled. You know what I mean? I feel I
And
can't.
maybe you would have went to a movie or like something, not a Rob Zombie concert.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
well,
I don't ever think to myself, I want to cheer up.
But
I want to go to Rob Zombie
Well, but
concert.
if Rob Zombie's not your favorite, like maybe she would just go into her favorite thing when she was sad. You know, maybe if that's your favorite music, that would be the go-to.
I just can't even imagine fucking you liking
good
Rob
point.
Zombie.
That's so funny.
I can't imagine that. I can't imagine you'd be mean to someone in a wheelchair.
Imagine he said,
Wait.
"Watch your ankles," though. He like threatened you.
Yeah. Full on threatened.
I'd be
That's
like,
the
what?
one part that I'm like, oh, that is a good
I'd be like,
detail.
why-
But that's
though.
who that guy was.
Right.
Yeah,
That
that's also how a comedian thinks. Like, what would a wheelchaired person say that's threatening me?
Yeah.
Watch your ankles.
You
Ooh.
gotta be so confident to talk shit with only half your body left. That's wild.
Wow.
We don't know.
Well,
that.
let's
I'm
say-
just saying.
Yeah,
Why say
well-
watch your ankles? That's crazy.
To
if
me,
it's
there
true.
were loose details in that story about like waiting in line, and then he couldn't see. Well, what was he needing to see if y'all were waiting in line for a meet and greet? What does it matter if he was?
No, the meet and
In
greet
front
was
of you
before
before.
the show.
So he wasn't trying to butt you in line
No,
for the
no,
meet
no,
and greet.
no,
He was
this
trying
was
to-
for the
This is for the
concert.
concert.
And what is it going to kill you what's wrong with your back that you
Bulging discs.
have? Bulging discs. And why do you have bulging discs?
It's a genetic thing, and it's also got worse by waiting tables for 13 years.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Dr. Wellington.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
I'm gonna say the first story is a lie. God, I fucking hate that you're giving out warm babies. I hate that you're not giving a name, and I hate because I know you has kids, and so that's like so skeevy.
but nothing happened.
I
Nothing
know,
happened.
but come on, you don't want to hear your dad took some young chickie out for a dinner, and
It might have been asked, but did you talk to him since ever after? Like you never
We
spoke to
talked
him
once
again?
more after that, and then we never saw him again.
and wasn't that right when he was like, oh no, Madonna was before that.
Madonna was way before it. He was married to Annette Bening, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
But then
way
on the other
before.
hand, I've been married, and when you have like little kids under your feet, you're like, fuck this shit.
you just want to get out. I
Yeah.
mean, he wasn't gross or anything. No.
Yeah,
He
but
was flirty,
still-
but
He was flirty with a young woman
Yeah.
still. That's gross.
Yeah, but this was an old family friend.
An old family friend. Yeah, that's what's
Yeah.
kind of making
That's
that
not
story
an
true.
old
Well,
family friend.
my
It was
aunt
like,
was the old
yeah.
family friend,
She,
but
she
I'd met
him
him.
when he was.
I met
she
him when I was
10.
young. Yeah.
So how did you meet him again? You just ran
a play.
into him at a play.
I ran into him
What
at
was
a
the
play.
play?
It was called Voice Lessons. It was a play with the guy from Third Rock from the Sun.
John Lithgow?
No, the
French Stewart.
yes.
We almost had him on a show.
Yeah, we almost had him.
Yeah?
on the show, yeah.
Canceled.
But then
Did
it
anyone-
We're still
canceled.
trying.
Did anyone
Yeah.
around you at the concert see what was going down with the guy in the wheelchair?
Yeah, where other people like, cool it, you fucking bitch.
Or were other people like, "Hey, don't be such a dick down there from your chair"?
Wow.
Was anyone on your side?
Yeah, the girl and her dad. I mean, and after the show, the dad actually thanked me. Was like, because when I went off on him, I was basically. I mean, this is so. When he started touching her, I turned around. I said, "Put your fucking hands on her one more time. She is a child. Get the hell out."
Oh,
like,
he
I
was
went
touching
off.
her?
Yeah, because he was trying to wedge himself in between me and the girl. He had his hands like, because he's little bit lower, obviously. So he was trying to squeeze in and had his hands like on her hip, and like he was trying to shove in, and it was touching her thigh, and she freaked out.
So even
And
more
that's when
so,
I lost my mind.
Even more so now, I don't believe this.
Yeah.
Because
Pedophilia.
a dad
Ooh.
at a Rob Zombie concert not sticking up for his daughter in the moment.
Wait, Ken Lofgren just had a good point.
Okay.
She knew the play that she met Warren Beatty or ran into Warren Beatty at, but
she
didn't
didn't
remember
know.
the restaurant that he took her to.
Because it was like one of the best plays I'd ever seen. I
Yeah, there was
loved
no
that
singing
play.
and dancing at the
you
restaurant.
fucking liar. Look at you.
I thought you said you ran into him in like the grocery store
No,
or something
no,
earlier.
no, I
but-
did not. I never said that. It was a play.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was
All right, I still
something.
think-
Because I just wrote she ran into him somewhere, but I could have swore you said
Nope,
like the grocery
it was a
store.
play.
Or-
All right.
Yeah, she said play.
Let's
There was
put-
no
should we vote?
grocery store involved. It was a play.
She didn't say play.
I
She say
did.
play at the
We're
beginning
having
of the
such a good time, but we
story.
should vote.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Let's vote. Let's vote.
How fun.
Michael, what do you say?
Dude, I guess I'm so just on the side of this. I think the way she reacted in the wheelchair story, if it's real, I think she did the right fucking thing. And so I'm going with that one's true.
Okay.
You think the first
I don't know. I
story
just
is
don't think
true?
she went out to dinner with
We
that
need to
guy.
knock those wheelchair people down a few pegs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're
I
damn right.
I'm going to switch my vote. God damn it. I'm going to switch my vote and say the Warren Beatty story is the lie.
Oh, you're not
I
sure
think
about
it's a lot.
that.
Don't go with me. It never
No.
works.
I know.
It does never work.
I know. I know.
This is about.
What is Ken Lofgren's vote?
Ken Lofgren's vote was that the first story is a lie.
Oh, I'm going against Ken. All right.
I'm going to
And-
go with my monkey bone
Kenny.
because we were right last time, and I'm going to say that the wheelchair is a lie.
Yeah, I went with that being a lie. She seems a little too nice. Ken actually asked if you had the tattoos then. I don't know if he was referring to the Rob Zombie thing or to the
Yeah.
Warren Beatty date.
Yeah, I've had tattoos
But,
for a while.
Yeah, even that Rob Zombie, she still seems too nice to be like
Yeah.
not letting a wheelchair person
Exactly.
in front of her.
Yeah, she's pretty nice, but what gets me is the ankle thing. My apologies, but what gets me is the ankle thing because yeah. Okay, go ahead.
What's your vote?
I think that the Warren Beatty one's a lie just because of the pasta.
I don't, that's my favorite pasta still to this day.
No,
That's
So it's the
so
best pasta you ever
weird.
had, and you don't know where it was at.
No, I mean that's my favorite. Like I'll order that at any restaurant I go to if
All
I
right.
have it.
All right. So which story is the lie?
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Warren Beatty is the lie. It's the lie. It's the lie.
Yeah, you evil, mean
Yeah,
bitch.
I did. Yeah, when I did meet him once when I was a kid, and he was perfectly wonderful and sweet. But I never went out with him. None of that. No,
All right,
he
all
was
right.
lovely, and no, he's a great man. So his kids can watch this. Well, at least he didn't do anything with me. I don't know if he did anything with anybody else, but
That's it. No
okay.
more women
I
on
heard-
this show.
They never name names.
no. But my
except you.
great aunt spoke very, very highly of him.
Okay,
Very, very
so that
highly of
part
him.
is
And
true.
yeah,
Yeah,
So
okay.
just the beginning is true. Yeah, he was a
Okay.
friend of the family, but none of that other. No.
Okay. All right. All right.
See, she's nice, and that really happened. I'm not a bad guy. I just have a
This-
prejudice
I'm
toward the
telling-
handicap.
No, this guy in a wheelchair, I'm telling you, he was not. He was using that to his advantage.
Yeah.
He was rude, and then he threatened me, and then he
Yeah.
started touching this girl. And,
I
you
can't
know,
believe her dad didn't do anything.
well, the dad actually, after this went down, after the concert, he said, you know what? I was going to say something, but you handled it. I didn't have to.
Yeah.
So, plus, Rob Zombie's about to come out. I didn't
Yeah,
want to
and I do.
around.
I know, right? This all happened 10 minutes before.
Yeah.
And the other guy in the wheelchair, that really happened. Dude
Yeah.
stood up.
I will have
yeah.
to say, when my mother was alive and she was in a wheelchair, and we never had to stand in line for anything,
Yeah.
and that was our plan wherever we went.
Yeah.
So I
Wheelchair
so-
privilege.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so let's recap Erin's story.
Story 1. It was her 23rd birthday, and she was going to day drink at the Saddle Ranch all day, and some guy takes him to his house, and he gives him $100 to wear some shirt at an art party, but she got too faded, so she missed the event. It's like 1 a.m., they're out in L.A., and they stumble across a flat dolly-like thing with wheels, and her friends push her down a stairwell while she's on it, and she busts her face up and mildly blinds herself, so she goes to the hospital and finds out she has a sleepy concussion. That she had slept through the night or week on.
And how many years ago was this?
I don't know.
Well, if you were
how old are you now?
23,
Yeah.
I'm always 23.
And it's not to catch you about your age, but I'm just trying to remember when the Saddle Ranch was actually.
Dude, it was not cool back then.
Yeah.
It was never cool.
Yeah.
It wasn't a scene. It was just a
Yeah.
place to day drink.
Right.
Yeah. Bombless mimosas.
All right.
Story 2. There are some names in the story that she can't reveal until after off air, I hope. But a year or two ago,
It's killing everybody.
but a year or two ago, she did an urban hike with her friend to find Bloody Marys in the morning, and they stumble into Ye Old Rustic Inn, where they saw a former door guy from the Comedy Store, definitely not Ari Manis, and then they saw a male 90s washed-up actor guy, maybe Matthew Perry, and turns out he is with not Ari, and they're actually not morning drinking. They've been out all night partying. So then, washed-up actor guy starts hysterically crying about his daughter. So she lies and says that she actually knows her and that she's a good person. So he smiled and went into the bathroom and did more drugs.
But that was only 2 years ago. And then you said you never day drink, and then that story is about you were day drinking.
Yeah, well, I mean excessively.
Old
Like-
habits die
You
hard.
didn't say that when you first said the story.
Well, I mean, like to
Yeah.
the point of missing
Yeah.
my birthday.
Really, I honestly don't think a Bloody Mary is day drinking. I would be
Yeah,
fine
I
with
do that at the airport. I'll casual Bloody Mary from time to time.
I think the second story is a lie, but I think you have really terrible boundary issues with your friends, and that you need to
Yeah.
talk to your one friend you're still friends with. And, I'm going to say the second story is a lie, but then you didn't say their names, but
I almost think that the not saying the name was a ploy.
yeah.
I think she was going to say the name, but then she saw how you reacted to Warren Beatty.
Yeah.
And then she was like,
Oh,
oh,
that
I'm
could
going to
be.
alleviate these names to make it seem more believable.
Yeah.
Thus, I believe that the second story is a lie.
I think it's harder to think that that strategically in the hot seat than we think. Like you're down here all the time. Like we always talk about, like, oh, you rushed through the first one, you seem nervous. It's like, well, because it's the first story they told.
Yeah, but you work on camera all the time now, right? Yeah, so she don't give a fuck. She's used to it.
All right, my bad. Yeah, word. I know.
She's good
I
at
know.
lying.
Yeah. I was just making sure you guys thought that too. Totally.
What do people online say, Austin?
Right now, Monkey Bone has voted. He's got second story being a lie, and so is Jason Marino. Kia is going the other way, saying the first story is a lie. And right now, that's all that's voted so far, but I'm sure everybody else will get their votes
Right.
in.
I
What
think
do you
that second story's true.
You do think the second
Yeah,
story is true.
I think that something wild happened with like a concussion, with like something where she felt like she might have been in danger if things had gone worse that night. Like I think there was a birthday party accident and she blacked out, but I don't think it entailed what she said it did.
And you didn't, you busted up your face, but you didn't get any scars or anything on your entire
No,
face
I
falling down a stairwell
miraculously-
and concussion.
It healed. Miraculously.
Look, my dad hit a lot of women. That shit heals.
Oh my god.
That shit heals.
And there was no blood. Not always.
No, I know. When you said that part, I was like, yeah, that makes sense if you know. But then I can't imagine that you didn't scrape your face or something.
No, they were worried I had internal bleeding.
Right.
The brain.
What bone did you? It was some what kind of bone?
Orbital
Oh,
bone.
yeah.
Orbital
The
bone.
head
It's a
bone.
cheekbone, like
Never
right
even
there.
heard of that.
That's like
Orbital
your
bone.
eye socket bone or something,
Ugh.
right?
Yeah.
That's very specific.
So what is your vote?
Oh, I don't know. I kind of, maybe the
She's full of hijinks, isn't she?
Second one.
She's so full of
Yeah.
hijinks. Look at that. Like she's so full of hijinks.
right,
That's a great word.
right. I think maybe the first one is true.
Melody's also saying the first one's true based on how giddy she was during the story one's recap.
Giddy?
So, yeah.
Was I happy about
I didn't know.
that
I was looking at the
story?
screen.
Yeah, I
so
think
didn't
it's
know.
Or was
important.
she happy with all of her lies? Ooh.
I think it's important to watch.
That's what I'm kinda
who's
thinking.
whose stories you're telling. It's important to watch them during the recap because they
Yeah.
react to them.
Yeah, it's true.
accordingly.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, the
Yeah.
recap. Yeah.
So if you're around someone that's super drunk, does your eye socket just like boom, 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 boom,
yeah,
boom,
I
boom?
have PTSD now.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm serious.
She just starts trying to ride anything down a hill she can
I'm
find.
just like, no.
But
Yeah.
is anybody wondering why she's wearing this shirt today?
Somebody
Peter
online.
Frampton.
Peter
Yeah.
Frampton's an incredible artist.
Yeah, I want that shirt.
I don't know. Somebody online accused him of child predatory
What?
actions. Yeah.
Well, he can
Wait,
make a
oh.
guitar talk. Let the
Yeah.
man have what he wants, you know?
They're just trying to get you to take your shirt off.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. They
are.
He so,
what?
I'm pro Peter Frampton, but I'm pro
Okay.
shirt off too, if that's what you want.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna stick with the second story being a lie, but I think I'm wrong. All right.
Ooh.
You're saying
So-
second story with me. You're with me.
Yeah.
Are we
Second
all in
story is
agreement?
a
Because
lie.
you added different before.
No. I said the second story
Okay.
was a lie.
All right. You don't think that Ari Manis?
I don't.
It was not Ari Manis.
Yeah,
remember?
no, but that's the lie. That story is the lie.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm with you then. All right.
Yeah.
I kind of think the first story's a lie.
All right, everyone's voted.
Michael, what was your
second?
vote?
Second true, first lie.
Oh fuck! What did Ken Lofgren say?
Ken Lofgren went with second lie. Kia and Cal went first story is a lie. And
I'm gonna go with Key and Cal. First story is a lie.
that's
changing
what
it.
I'm doing. Me and
All
Mike.
right.
That's what me and
Yeah,
Michael
okay.
are
I'm
doing.
sticking with Monkey Bone.
All right, so I'm saying the first story is a lie. Which story is the lie?
Okay, the one that's a lie is the second story.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, you're so smart, Jessica. You're so smart.
Wow.
Yeah.
God
In
damn
your
it.
face. I want to hit somebody in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I never hit him. I just verbally assaulted him. It's different.
Oh my god.
And he deserved it. Okay.
All right, you guys have been awesome guests. Where can people find you?
well, you can find me in
You've
church
been awesome, but
repenting my sins.
disappointing.
Amen.
Well, I mean, I didn't have an affair. Yay! Can we look at it that way? Can we look at it that way? And I do love
Okay.
Rob Zombie. Okay. Twitter and Instagram at the Samantha Hale.
Great. And what about you, Erin?
You guys can find me on Instagram at darling with 4 H's, DAHHHHLING, and just listen to my
Jesus.
podcast.
It's about like Michael's Twitter.
And what about you, Austin?
I'm at the Austin Walker on everything. Follow me on there. I'm in Central Florida this week, so I'll miss y'all on Saturday when you're at November 30th, the Liars Club at the Belly Room of the World Famous Comedy Store with Brian Simpson, Annie Letterman, Neil Brennan, Nick Novicki, Matt Devlin, our crew, Jessica Wellington, and Michael Evans.
Jason
Yoshi.
Tebow.
Jason Tebow will
Yoshi.
be co-hosting, and Yoshi will be there as well. And Yoshi's
Yeah.
always very good at that game.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys get your tickets for that. Go Gators, beat FSU, and I'll see y'all when I get back.
Wonderful. And I am actually going to be in Palm Springs. I'm not going to be at that show on November 30th this
just me and
Saturday.
Michael.
It's just you,
Really?
Michael,
You're
and
gonna be
Jason
there?
Oh, you're
Tebow.
doing
Yeah.
Selene show.
Yeah, I'm doing
Yay.
Selene's show. Yeah,
it's a great show.
So if you're out in Palm Springs, look at my Twitter feed for all the information of where that show is. And
Or if you're in the closet, still come see Felicia.
yes, whatever that
on
means.
it today,
Okay.
dude.
Oh, dude, you're hot. I got your back, Jess. I get you, dog.
All
I
right,
get
and Jessica.
I'm at Jess Wellington 2 on everything. Please follow me. Thank you guys, and you have been lied to.
High five Michael on Instagram.
Oh.
Oh!